Welcome back everyone. Quickly, let's continue our discussion on CSS text formatting. And right now, we'll be discussing about the CSS default text color formatting. The CSS color property is used to set the color of the text. The color is specified by a color name, X color value, RGB color value, and so on and so forth. You can check our CSS color value playlist for a complete list of possible color you can specify in your document, and also you can check our CSS color playlist itself for in-depth about CSS color. You will find a lot of things you can do with color there. So let's continue. The default text color for a page is defined in the body selector, which is the parent element. This is the body selector. So quickly back to our document. This is what we are having right now. Let's say for instance now, you can see all the text in our document right here. It's black. The border right here is by default from the fit set element. So I will do some demonstration on this. Let me increase the font of this border so you can see how the border is look, what the color is having clearly, so everything can be going gently. Let's get back to our code. This is what we are having in the code right now. So right here, I'm going to select our body element. I'm going to copy this and paste it here, and I'm going to do opening and closing bracket for declaration. Don't you forget, in the CSS we are having two parts. The first part is the selector part, and the second part is the declaration part. The declaration part is inside these curly braces. You can check our CSS playlist on the CSS selector, so you can be able to understand what I'm talking about easily. There's no any magic here. So let's say for instance now we want to increase fit set. Like I told you earlier, I said fit set element is having a default border. So let me select the fit set element, and I will need to increase the border width. I'm going to increase the border width to 23. Let's save the document and reload. Can you see? So this is the default border width. As you can see the way it looks. So I want to show you some other element again that doesn't have border by default. This H1 is not having border by default. This P tag is not having border by default. And you can see it's not, this one is not having border by default. This one is not having border by default. This one also is not having any border by default, which is the legend element. This one is not having any border by default. So let's now say for instance I want to add another element like div element also. Let me add div element. Let's save our document and reload. Can you see it's not reflecting yet? And also the div border is not having, the div element is not having any border by default. So I'm going to specify a border in this div element so you can be able to see how everything works together in a reasonable manner. Let me create the div element. Inside my div element right here, I'm going to specify declarations. I'm going to have some borders. I'll give it border 23 pixel. After that, I'll give it solid, the type of border. That's all. I will not give it any color by default. I just want you to see what will happen when I save and reload my document. Can you see I'm having this? So I'm going to do some things to this so that this can look more nice to uh, my understanding. So I just want to have it like this. Yes. One thing I'm trying to show you guys right here. Firstly, let me break this into two. Let me come inside my this thing right here. I just want to break this thing into two a little so that my document can look nice a bit. I don't want to have a lot of code all around. I just want to have something nice. Let me bring this one here. I just want to have something nice. Yes, I love it like this. So if you notice very well, I'm having border width right here and the margin right here just to do some other necessary things that we will need to use, just because we have to understand this in a reasonable manner. So to the explanation right here, you should notice one thing. Right here, the text right here is the h1 tag, the legend is this one, the legend tag. This content also is the one inside the p tag, which is all this. The three elements is containing 1, 2, and this is the third, which is the 3. Those are the elements that is having text, right? So if you notice very well, all these things by default they are having black color, and this div element which I specified earlier also it's having what? Black color. So let's now say for instance now we want to add another element like fit set element again, another fit set element again. Let's save this document and reload. Can you see what happened? The other fit set element we are having right here also is having something the same color like this and the same design like this. So definitely you should know that when we are adding anything inside this kind of fit set element, it's still going to be growing up, growing up, growing up. So we don't want to do much than this for now, so that we can understand what we are talking about. So now let's get back to our document. I've selected my body tag in the previously I've selected it. Now I want to change the color. I'll give it color red. When I give it color red, you'll see the thing that will happen. Actually, I've removed this third fit set this third element right here, which is the fit set there. Can you see what happens? What happens is that all our text right here tends to what? Red. And this our div element also, the border also change to red. This is not talking about the div element only, it's talking about many elements that doesn't have border by default. All of them will have the border by default. All of it will have the color by default. So definitely, because we have specified a default border which is not from us but from HTML by default, this default border is having color, is having different designs by default. That's why we are not able to change it. That's why it can never change. On S, it's not having any border by default. The color can then be changed. That's why this div element is changed. That's why when we notice in our div element right here, we don't specify any color in our div border, as you can see. So definitely it is inheriting this color from our body element. So definitely this color right here is the default color that all our document will be taking. So let's just say for instance now we had another element here, maybe like section element here. Yeah, we write anything inside it. Let's write some X. Let's save our document. You are going to see it's going to turn to red. Can you see? Everything is red. So no matter the element you had inside here, it's going to be turning to red because we have specified. Can you see? I gave it a gap a bit so you can see it clearly. So no matter the element you are adding, you are piling up. Let's say for instance we had h1 tag inside this one. Now it's going to have, let me just add h there. It's going to have red color. Can you see? So everything will be having the red color by default. So even let's say for instance we add div element now. The div element also is going to have the color red by default, and also the design we are having. All these designs we are having, as you can see, is the one we are having right here by default. So default color it's going to be reflecting gently no matter what you write. So let's say for instance now we now change this one to green color. If we change it to green color and reload our document, can you see everything returns to green? So that's what I want you guys to know. That is the default. That is how you can define a default color. It is very useful when you get to some advanced technology. When you go to advanced level on this, you are going to see some of the benefits of using default values, especially default text, default color, default different things in default. So we have specified the default value for our color right here. So for us, maybe if we want to change the color in our div element now, we cannot change it if we want. So let's say we want to change it to red. We cannot specify red, and it's going to have red color by default. So anything again we now write, that is this div element will now be inheriting that color from the div element again also. So it will inherit the color. Let me write another div element now in our document. We are going to see it is going to inherit the color. Can you see? It inherited it. It inherited the value from the div element. So that's how the inheritance works, because it's the default. Let me just say the inheritance value is always the default value you firstly set to your document. So that's why no matter what you write again, it's going to inherit it. So you cannot change it if you want. You may not change it if you like. So it just depends on what you want to do. But this fit set element, because it is already having its own default color, that's why it's not changing. And we can also change this one also by using border color property. We can change it also if we want. When I change it with border color property, I can change it to blue. When I change it to blue, I will load my document. Can you see this one is now turning to blue? I don't think you are getting the point. So it just depends on what you want to do. I can do anything with my color, and so now every fit set element you are writing now is now going to turn to what? Turn to blue. The color is now going to become blue when I write another fit set here now. Can you see? So this is one of the things you have to know by default when you are setting any value by default. Not only the color, any value by default is going to be inherited by its parent element or by the body element. Specifically, this is from the body element, and any element we want to any element we specify that we want the element to take this color. Definitely we don't need to specify color in it again. Then it's going to inherit the color because the element is having this body element is the parent of all other elements we are adding. That's why they are going to inherit the default value, the default color from this body element. So no matter how you are writing anything, they are going to be inherit some of it, unless its default value, like this fit set element now. The fit set element inherited from this body element, but it's not everything. It inherits some, and we define some by ourselves, and some came with it also by default. That's what I want you guys to notice about this. I don't want this tutorial to get too long than I expected. Anwar Akorede ayofe is my name once again. I wish to see you guys next time to the next tutorial. Peace and love. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Until the next.